Hey everybody. Well, I need some new batteries bad. I started recording from my uh, camcorder, and again the batteries died. I've got a battery charger and some rechargeable batteries, but I think I've about recharged them all I can. So it's time to get some new ones. So now I'm having to do this for my webcam. Um, what do you think about the new Facebook? Do you like it? Do you love it? Have you had enough of it? I liked it at first because I liked the way that you could categorize people, and so that way I would be able to be sure to see what everybody was doing instead of having to scroll down the page to see what everybody was doing. But not so sure about that anymore because over, let's say for example, close friends, it would say close friends and then say 16, like I got 16 posts or something. I'll click on it and there won't be anything new, and that's starting to get on my nerves. Um, And then I'm wondering about what about the friends that I haven't put in a category yet? Have they posted anything that I'm not seeing? Where are they going to pop up at? You know, what's happening with them? And what about when I do a post? Are all my friends going to see me? Or, is everybody going to see? Just like one of Joe's concerns was that a lot of his fans, because he does the American Idol and X Factor and stuff, are not going to be seeing him because they're not sure how to use the new page. As with everything, I guess it's understandable some changes that are made to it. You update your cell phone all the time, so I guess Facebook is just going to update. They was talking on the news the other day about some more changes coming that they don't know how people's going to feel about. I'm not sure what those changes are going to be yet, but people are going to complain. People are just not going to be happy with it. But you can't please everybody. So, how do you feel about it? I, if it wasn't for the glitches that they're having, I think it's going to be all right. But another thing that gets on my nerves is over on the side where it scrolls up what everybody's doing. And under the notifications, so and so just updated their status. I don't care if somebody updated their status. I could see that in the news feed. I want to know when somebody comments on my status, and I want that put back in the notifications. But I don't know how that's going to work either. And the little thing over here on the right hand side that scrolls up and shows what everybody's saying, and I don't need to know when one of my friends comments on one of their friends' statuses. I don't need to know this. They're not my friend that they're commenting on, so I don't need to know. It's confusing, and I think it might be okay once all the glitches are ironed out and once you learn how to do it. It might be okay, but this is a really bad time. My brother is setting my dad up on Facebook. My dad is new to Facebook, so he's having to learn this as it is. Maybe it's a good thing because that means when he was introduced into Facebook, he had to learn it this way instead of learning it the old way and then coming back in and learning it the way that we have to now. So maybe it's a good thing. And so, of course, Dad really don't need to learn all the stuff that we learn on here. This would just be, I guess, no more time than I'm sure that he'll be on here. His way of keeping up with his kids and such. So, because he lives in Virginia. But anyway, as far as anything else going on, I had to tell you about this. Debra Lafave. If you all remember her, she was the teacher that I think when she was 21, she had sex with a 14-year-old boy in the classroom. Um, she's the one who the judge and the lawyers and everybody said that throwing her in jail would be like throwing a piece of meat to the dogs because she was just too pretty to go to jail. So they put her under house arrest. And then it went from house arrest to 7 years probation. And then it went yesterday from 7 years to probation to knocking 4 of those years off. And now she can do whatever she wants to. Her reason behind that was She's engaged to be married. She just had twins. She's a mommy now, and blah, blah, blah. And she needs to help her husband with his business. And the judge said, okay. Had this been a man, he would still be under the jail. So this is crazy. And they said that the boy that she abused is still in counseling. So I guess she's another Lindsay Lohan. You know, Lindsay Lohan keeps getting off. So, and then there's another woman in the news now that had sex with two of her son's friends, and one's 14 or 16, and the other one's under 14. And so she's not a very attractive woman. You watch, she'll get many, many years out of that, just because she's not too pretty to go to jail. So that's kind of stupid right there. Jury selection is on for Michael Jackson's for Conrad Murray. They're not having the jury sequestered, so that's a good thing because this trial might drag on for a long time. Not sure how I feel about that, and I don't think he should be charged with murder. I think he should be charged negligent homicide, maybe, or just negligence. If something was to happen as a doctor, that's what they have malpractice insurance for. So, not sure how they're gonna go with that one. And then the trial is on. I don't know what this guy's name is, but he's one that charged in the murder of the Pettit family, Dr. Pettit's family, wife and two daughters. I really want to do a video about that soon. Michael Hayes has already been sentenced, I think, to death row, for his part in those murders. But for those of you who don't know, Dr. Pettit and his wife and two daughters lived in, I think, Connecticut. And the two men invaded their home. They hit Dr. Hayes, tied him up, and threw him in the basement. One of them stayed at home with the two girls, and the other one took the wife to the bank and made her withdraw $15,000 and said if she did that, that they would not be harmed. So when she was at the bank, it's got her on the surveillance camera and everything they show on the news, and she was telling the teller that he was in the car and that they was holding their family and that they seemed pleasant, and she didn't think that they was going to hurt them, but you know, she was telling them this, I guess, so that they could get the police on their way over there. So she had to get the money. She had to get back in the car, and she had to go back to the house because her daughters were there and her husband was tied in the basement. So when she got back there, things turned. Things got real ugly. They raped and beat her and ended up killing her. They assaulted one of the girls, and they raped the 11-year-old girl. She was 11 or 12. And tied the girls to their beds and then set the house on fire. So I think Mrs. Pettit was actually murdered, and the two girls that were tied to the beds died from smoke inhalation. Well, Dr. Pettit got somehow untied in the basement after he woke up, and he was able to get out of the basement and run to a neighbor's house to get help. And some people blame him for not running back in to help his family. There was nothing he could do. If he was going to run back in, then he'd been dead too. He had to take his chances on running on the outside to get help for his family. So, but the guy that's on trial now for it, like I said, Michael Hayes, is already sentenced to death. This guy's blaming everything on Michael Hayes, but he was there. He raped the girl. He had a role in it too, so he needs to be on death row right beside Michael Hayes. Anyway, I just got on here to talk about Facebook, and I ended up talking about everything else. But so leave your comments down here and tell me what you think about the new Facebook. And until next time, bye-bye.